The Gospel of the Lord. I imagine each of us knows a friend, family member, or someone from the community who had to fight a difficult battle with cancer. It is a terrible disease. Cancer is so terrible, dangerous, and difficult to treat precisely because it attacks the human body at its very foundation, the cell, which is the building block of the entire body. On this Respect Life Sunday, a day when we are called to respect and defend life from conception to natural death, it appears that our culture, our world, has a cancer. If cancer is a disease which attacks the cells of the human body, we must ask, what is the cell or building block of a culture and society? The traditional answer to this question is that the family is the basic building block of society. Families build up neighborhoods, neighborhoods towns, towns cities, cities counties, counties states, states countries, and countries the entire world. But even deeper than that, we have to ask, what is the family itself based on? What builds up the family? What makes a family? The union of husband and wife, and in particular, that very act which leads to new life. I believe our culture has a cancer which is eating away at this foundation. It is eating away at the dignity of marital love and the physical love which they share. If it is eating away at the foundation of life itself, we are on a path of cultural destruction, a path towards death. But don't take my word for it. Look around you. Take stock of the signs of the times. What is used to sell more products than anything else? What sorts of images are we constantly bombarded with on television? What are bad words or curse words normally in reference to? What sorts of behaviors are encouraged of our young people today? We live in a world where it is legal to kill the result of a physical union of a man and a woman, whether that killing be at the beginning of the child's life, in the womb, or in some states, at the end of the child's life, when they are elderly and request to be killed. You see, these are not just political issues. They go far deeper than that. They ask us to consider how we treat our very human existence, and they even demand that we ponder the nature and dignity of the very act that brings about human life. And again, I say, don't take my word for it, because Jesus himself points us in this direction in today's gospel. The Pharisees hate Jesus and are trying to trap him in some way. So the Pharisees ask Jesus about divorce, hoping that Jesus would deny the legality of divorce. Now, divorce was allowed in Jewish law. So if Jesus denied divorce, the Pharisees could then accuse Jesus of disobeying and undercutting the law itself. But when the Pharisees ask Jesus about divorce, he does not give them the answer they are looking for. Instead, Jesus calls them and us to consider God's original plan for marital love. Jesus acknowledges that, yes, in the old law, Moses allowed husbands to divorce their wives. This was a concession that God made for the Israelites. But Jesus then adds something of critical importance. Because of the hardness of your hearts, Moses wrote you this commandment. But from the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. Matthew's version of this gospel reads, "From the beginning, it was not so." In other words, God intended something different for men and women when he created them. Certainly not the messiness of broken marriages, immorality, abandoned children, and all other sorts of problems, hurt, and pain that we see today. But what was the original plan before everything changed? Look at our first reading today. Look at Adam's reaction when he sees Eve for the first time. This one, at last, is bone of my bones and flesh of my flesh. He does not see her as an object of lust, as something to take for himself, but as a gift from God to be received. This was God's original plan for marital love, his original plan for the relationship between men and women, that there be no lust, no use, no hurt, but a true love. This love was to give life rather than destroy it, and to promote and protect innocence rather than steal it. This is what Jesus is pointing to when he responds to the Pharisees. You Pharisees have hardened hearts concerning marriage and divorce, but this was not God's original plan. God wanted the union of male and female to be truly life-giving. So what does all of this mean for us today? If we are living in a culture with a cancer attacking the cellular level, attacking the marital act, then we must treat it at the cellular level. In other words, we must reclaim the beauty and dignity of our bodies, of physical love, and of the importance of the family. To reclaim the beauty and dignity of our bodies means to ask for forgiveness for any ways that we have sinned in this area of our life. It means renewing our efforts to build up and strengthen our own families. Reclaiming the beauty of the human body means challenging our culture and the way it degrades the human body, perhaps forgoing that raunchy movie or TV show. It means educating others to respect the human body and to respect the physical act of love rather than treat it as a recreational activity. And of course, fighting for the dignity of human life means fighting for the rights of those who are the result of the union of male and female. In other words, we must fight for the right of all to live, from the unborn to the elderly and everyone in between. We don't do this for political reasons. We do it for human reasons. God gave us the gift of human life and the ability to create new life with our own bodies. Respect that gift, and by doing so, we can beat whatever cancer the world is suffering.